You're looking to improve your short game. In this next video, I'm going to show you a great change you can make to your setup that will improve your chipping and pitching than ever before. I'll see you soon. Hey, it's Troy from Hitting It Solid here. So you're looking to improve your short game, you want to get better at chipping and your pitching. Well, in this video I'm going to show you a great change that you can make to your setup that will improve this part of your game so you can get up and down a lot more around the greens and save your par. So make sure you give me a thumbs up for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me grow the channel and make more great content to help everyone out, and I really appreciate that. So in this video I'm going to talk about how you can be a lot more proficient around the greens with your chipping and pitching. So I guess the first thing we need to talk about is where do most golfers go wrong with their chipping and pitching, and why are they so inconsistent? And a lot of it has to do with their setup. So typically what most golfers do, so if I'm set up to a ball here, I'm pitching, and I've got a chip shot of say sort of 10-20 yards like this here, most golfers will take a wide stance, similar to what they would do with a full shot, and they'll have a bit of access tilt. They'll lean back away from the ball. Now this is all perfectly fine if I'm making a full swing, I'm hitting the ball a lot further, because when we do that we want to have a bit of access tilt, and because we're making a full swing we want to be able to rotate and make a full swing like that. But with chipping and pitching we want very little rotation, and we want to have a very stable base and just keep the club moving through nice and smooth like a pendulum. So the issue where a lot of golfers get into problems is when they set up to the ball like that, when they come through, they bump their left hip forward like that, and what that does is it causes you to have a very wristy chipping stroke. As the hips go forward, the hands get stuck back here and you become very disconnected, and they rely on a lot of flipping, a lot of timing issues with the wrist to try and make consistent contact with these short little chip shots. So in short shots we don't want much rotation, we just want to be able to keep the legs stable and have a really consistent sort of stroke through the ball. So I'm going to show you in just a minute a great setup change you can make, so make sure you stick around for that. Will really help you out with your chipping and pitching. So now what it is as I set up to the ball, I like to do a couple of things. Now I'll show you this from a couple of different angles so you can see I spoke about having too much access tilt. So from face on, that would mean having, and this is another issue where golfers go wrong, they have a very square stance with their chipping. Their legs are very square and the upper body is square. And of course what that does is with your chipping, makes it a lot more difficult to keep that club on a nice consistent plane where it bottoms out at the same spot every time, because you're relying on a lot of wrist manipulation, and that'll look something like that, and it's a very inconsistent stroke. So what I'm suggesting what you do is if I'm about to set up to a ball like so, I like to take a much narrower stance, and the real key for me, and this is what you want to look at, my waist, my hips, I want to be open. So what I'm trying to do is, as I set up, got my narrow stance, I twist this, I'll twist my hips open like so, keeping my shoulders relatively square. I'll have my hands slightly forward of the ball, knees, a little bit of flex in those knees, hips open, and there you have it. I'm in that nice position there where I can hit a lot of consistent chips, and I'm much more likely to bottom out in the same position every time with those hips already open than I would if they were square like that. It's much easier to go like this and get my hands in that same bottoming out position. It helps you have a much better arc into the ball, and you'll hit at the same spot every time by getting in that pre-impact position right from the start. So I'll go through that again from face on. I'll show you from another angle in just a sec. Narrow stance, turn those hips open, and the important part is I turn those hips open that my pelvis right around here is pointing down. I don't want it pointing up anywhere out this way, I want it pointing down, knees bent, hands slightly forward, And I'm in that nice position to chip the golf ball. So from down the camera long, just so you can see exactly what those hips are doing, I'm setting up to the ball. Now this is square, twisting them open, pelvis down, hands slightly forward. I'm in that really good chipping position to make solid contact with the golf ball. So you want that little bit of shaft lean, the shoulders square. So from down the line, so you can see it from yet another angle, feet close together, get those hips open, pelvis down, hands slightly forward. And I'm in that great position to start making solid contact with ball. And you'll notice I also have a much more vertical upper part of my body like this, the spine angle. Rather than having tilt back like that, I'm much more on top of the ball, much more vertical, and a much better chance of making those crisp sort of strikes you see with chipping around the green. So I'll demonstrate one for you. Now this is just a little 5-yard sort of shot. Get our narrow stance, twist those hips open, pelvis down, hands slightly forward. Nice little crisp little pitch shot, and that's exactly what you want around the greens. Now, depending on the trajectory of the shot you want to play, you can make a few adjustments, and all that would be is still having the same principle, hips open. With your hands as you're coming through, for a higher shot, you probably wouldn't have as much shaft lean. So for a higher shot, you want to release those hands a bit more. For a lower shot, pretty much the same position, just hold on to that shaft lean a bit more, and you'll hit the ball a little bit lower. Great for hitting those little chip and run shots around the greens. So just by making those slight little adjustments to your setup position, getting those legs slightly open, that pelvis down, will encourage a much better angle of attack, and you become a lot more consistent. You'll have a consistent low point, and that's really the key. When I'm in this position, my low point is very consistent, and I can consistently hit that spot behind the ball every single time. It'll make your job much, much easier. So that's it. That's how you can get a lot better with your chipping and pitching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now below this video, there'll be a couple more links to some additional golf instruction that will really help you out. So I encourage you to check that out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.